Hello and welcome to Fierce Fabulous Fridays. Today we are talking with Christine Yardley. She is the president of Print Panther and also of the curator and founder of Eat Print Love, which she will talk to you about. Christine is going to talk to us about inspiring print customers to greatness, which is going to be so important as we roll out of whatever we're rolling out of and roll into the next thing. And you know there is even a movement now, if you think about it, of reasonable self-soothing type of things. We're getting a lot of plain down and dirty kind of information because people are just churning it out as they need it. But there's going to be a shift in that. People are going to want nice things again, and to look at nice things. And Christine is going to talk to us about how to talk to customers about doing things like that. I fell in love with Christine, if I'm allowed to say that, Christine, on a park bench in Las Vegas. We had a taco lunch date at an SGIA event, I believe it was. And we started just talking about everything from, the industry and women in the industry. And Christine has a very creative background for a printer, someone I would have gravitated to regardless. But Christine was really a champion of the Project Peacock events. And Christine has a lot of influence with the manufacturers because she is a premier customer. She's willing to take chances. She's willing to test equipment. She's willing to introduce new equipment to the market. And so she has a lot of power in that. And she really paved the way in every way for Project Peacock to happen in the United States, but even more so, the reason why it happened in Toronto was because of Christine. She is from Canada, as you'll find out the minute she starts talking. But it was possibly our best event. There was so many students there, so much encouragement, such an amazing community, and it is no wonder that you are part of it, Christine. So without further ado, Christine will give you a little bit more about her background, but please give a warm Girls Who Print welcome to Christine Yardley. Thank you, Christine.
Wow, that was quite an introduction. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I promise I won't say I'm sorry or anything like that. But I remember the first time that Deborah dragged me on a stage, she told me that I had to speak a little louder because I was being too polite. So I think I've come a long way since then. But I really want to thank you for that welcome. That was over the top. I am a printer and I do love what I do, but I have a creative background. I've always been in print in some way. I started making specialty presentation materials. That's how I started, with unusual materials, eco-friendly materials. So I've always pushed the envelope in whatever I've done. And Eat, Print, Love, which is kind of what connected Deborah and I, was something I just wanted to start. And I wish I had more time to really devote to it. But it's really just all things print that I love, and things that inspire me, and also things that other people have been inspired by, that if they share it with me, I'll share it on the site. So it's just an open site that has a lot of good ideas. It also has resources if you needed something and things like that, because I love everything about print, including the paper, everything about it. And we are a digital shop, but I push the envelope on the digital shop side. So this presentation is kind of fun because I think it's a perfect time right now to be re-inspiring, because we all are kind of reinventing ourselves and reimagining ourselves, and even rebranding ourselves, because we're allowed to do things now that seemed not possible a few months ago. I think boundaries have been lifted to a large degree. So the name of this presentation is Inspiring Our Print Customers to Greatness. And I think that's important, because I think we have to lead and show our customers, what's possible and what they can do now, because everybody's coming into this new world with limitations, perhaps. We can't afford to maybe embellish everything we print, but it can still be beautifully designed and beautifully thought out. So that's kind of where I'm going with this presentation. So how do I make my screen go? Here we go. Slide 2. I have no idea how that changed, but it's a good thing it did. This is just a little overview of our work. We do everything at Print Panther, from catalogs to specialty packaging to short run, all digital. We have metallic inks with our iridesce, Xerox iridesce, and we also have the MGI for foil and varnish, that kind of thing. So it allows us to really play with our creative and be a little bit different than, you know, the standard ink on paper, which I think we're all sort of trying to do now in this new environment. These are just a few more pictures. There's a lot of different ways that you can present these days, and this, if you look at that little pink brochure in the middle, that was a cute one we did, and for the PIA, and it's interesting because it's styled up and it has really good information on there on how to use embellishment and how to prep your files and stuff. So it's a really good little brochure we did. So going back into my main thought, I think that because we're in extraordinary times right now, and I think we can all agree with that, you know, creativity is so important, and it's a luxury that we can have, that we can keep. And with that luxury, we can create new experiences and kind of step outside our comfort zone, because I think that, I don't know about everyone else, but I'm kind of on laptop overload, and I want to touch again. I want to have that printed tactile piece in my hand again. So, you know, we can think maybe a little outside the box right now, and creativity is a luxury that we can all have. It's you know, accessible to all. And I think also that because of everything that's happening in our world, creativity is actually thriving, and it can thrive, and we can let it thrive with what we print and what we produce. And you know, the responses that we'll get back from people if you put a beautiful piece in their hand is going to be different. I think maybe even, I don't want to, cherished. I think when I get something now that I think is beautiful, or the print is lovely, it's a cherished piece. It's not just a commodity anymore. And I think as we return to business, maybe not business as usual, but business, you know, we can return it in a different way, maybe a more profound way. And, you know, we can impress our clients, and you can help your clients with their branding. Maybe they have to rebrand completely, you know, and we're allowed now to rebrand completely, and people won't think, why are you rebranding? It's almost like the gates have opened, and creativity can truly thrive. And it's not just what you're doing with the print. I mean, if you're embellishing, or if you're using metallic inks, I mean, it's also your paper stock, you know, your just the whole thing. And if you creatively design a piece, and it can be a one-page menu, but if you do it with creativity, it can still be a beautiful one-page menu. And, you know, I think this is going to kind of allow businesses to get back to business and to thrive. I also think actually, Deborah and I were chatting about this earlier. You know, people are dealing with different stress right now, fear and maybe uncertainty in times like this. And if we can inspire them, I think it's more important now than ever to inspire them. And, you know, we were talking about things like wellness kits, you know, de-stressing kits that people are handing out to your clients. I have a supplier that brought me a little care package with, you know, some sanitizer and stuff, but also a little candle that you could burn, and, you know, sort of de-stressing that whole thing. So whenever you print anything today, I think that no matter who your client is, you can add a bit of creativity to it, because whoever's going to get it in their hand next, if you can give them an experience and, you know, impress them in some way, it's going to be more than ink on paper. So, for some reason I went too far. I also think that creativity is a way to express an emotion. That's obvious, right? I mean, no matter what you're creating. you're expressing your emotion. And if you can add a little humor to that too, I think there's a wonderful relationship right now happening with creativity and with humor. It's a way to break through all that's happening right now. And if you can make someone laugh, or you can give them something beautiful that they can touch, or even make them think, or maybe rethink what they're doing. um, it can be so simple. It can be a brochure, it can be your business card. And I know we're not really face to face at the moment as much as we'd like to be live. There's been a lot of Zoom meetings like we're in now. I have been in contact with my clients constantly, but I really miss that one-on-one interaction. So if you can break through somehow, break through your laptop and actually send them something, people are still, uh, they want that touch, and they're ready. People are ready to get back to business and to thrive. And I think we have to use creativity to thrive. I don't think we can go back to just, the same old. I think we have to rethink everything we're doing, and rethink it creatively, and from a creative aspect, and get input from the people you work with, and say, how do you feel when you look at that printed piece? What did that evoke? Did it evoke anything? Because if it's just another piece of paper, you know I think it has to be fine tuned, and we have to, I think I said it earlier, but I love this statement. We have to return to business, but we have to return in a profound way. We can't do it the old way. The easiest way to do that, I think, is creatively. So this is just a little case study I wanted to do. This chocolate box is something that we actually originally did for KM as a promo piece, but it's such a simple touch point to go reintroduce yourself to a client, or reestablish a relationship, or even develop a new relationship, frankly. But this piece has been foiled and varnished, and we went with such a sweet, we just said sweet, that's what we call it. And the whole presentation, or the whole theme of this whole concept, is just sweet. So we have a brochure that goes with this. It's just sweet, and so it touches all the emotions when you see this. It's a very tactile box. It's soft touch lamb on the outside. It's got the raised foil. It's got the raised varnish. Text is simple, but of course inside there's a delicious chocolate that you can eat. So we used one word, it just sweet, and it instantly can connect us with our client, or your customer, or your customer's customer. It can inspire you because it's a nice word. I mean, sweet is a great word. So if you can, when you're thinking creatively, if you can think of ways and use humor, if that's the way you want to go, or just simplicity, but keep it simple, keep it, we're so overloaded right now with everything we have to deal with, that you have to get in, and you have to get in quickly and make people feel it in the heart. You have to really feel that connection. And you're going to connect with your client, but you're also going to help them connect with their clients, and their customers. And that's more important now than ever, because I feel like I've lost a lot of my connection. I used to, love going to trade shows, and I love my industry, and I miss that interaction, but also going to my clients and having that one-on-one. And, right now we have to reinforce that. And a printed piece, people love their mail right now. They can't wait to open their mail, because it's something we can touch and do other than turning on your laptop. And I think I mentioned before, humor is a really great way to get through, but great design, great print, and chocolate. I think chocolate's always a great way to get through to people. But, what we really have to kind of drill down to now is touching all the senses. So if it's a printed piece, is it tactile? Is it making you engaged in the copy? Even the copy has to be creative. I mean, you have to rethink every element of your design. And if you can help your customers do that and say, this is a great message you're trying to get out, but what if we just tried to make it a little more creative? What if we just tried to think a little outside the box? What if we kind of reinvented this part of your business, and maybe use some metallic inks, maybe use a bit of foil, but let's tell people that we are back, and we've adapted. We have all adapted. And this isn't new. I mean, we've been using embellished print forever, well, not forever, but there's always foil and varnish has always been a wonderful way to uh, elevate your brand. But I think now we want to really have that different touch, feel, tactile point for our clients and for my clients too. It goes down the food chain. I also think that, we keep saying trusted channels, and I think print is always going to be the most trusted because, you have a tangible piece of tactile information in your hand. Nobody can tamper with it. Nobody can change it. You've got it. It can be personalized. You can have your name on it. I mean, it's going to reconnect you. It's going to reconnect you with the brand that is whatever you're advertising, whether it's for, anything from a car to soap. I mean, I think that it's just reconnecting all the things we used to trust, because I think we've lost trust a little, and I think print is obvious. I mean, it's a trusted channel to get human beings to interact, and it lasts, right? I mean, I keep my office here is full of printed things. I never throw anything out because it inspires me. I have stuff all around me because it inspires me. And if you can inspire someone, you're going to reestablish that connection without even knowing it. It's subconscious. You're just going to reestablish that connection, and in a subtle way, in a soft way. And when we've been hit with so much negative, that to reestablish your brand in a beautiful, inspiring way, the timing is perfect for that because we crave it. It's as simple as that. So that's it. I hope I didn't go too fast there. We can take some questions, but I just think we got to keep creativity alive, and we got to keep it thriving. And I do have my website, Eat Print Love. I think Deborah mentioned that at the beginning. And what it is just a place to share inspiration and share ideas. And if anybody has anything that they'd like me to share on the website, I would love to do that. The samples of that chocolate box were done by Print Panther, my print company. And I've left some contact information on the bottom there if you want to just hello at Print Panther, if you want to reach out to me. And there's also a link on Eat Print Love. You can also reach out to me. It will come directly to me. So I would love to share some more ideas or answer any of your questions about any of the ways we print and do things.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Christine. It was very comprehensive, very interesting. I already stealing at least two things from you. Can you unshare your screen if you don't mind? And then everybody can turn on their video and their microphones, and we'll have a conversation. I actually have a few kickoff questions for you. Starting with, you mentioned that people have lost trust. Can you elaborate a little more on the areas you think that print solves that issue and what the trust issues might be? Then I've got a million other questions.
Well, I think you hear so much different news and media and things that are happening in the world about what's happening in this crisis that we're all living. And what I mean by trust is, you don't know if something has been tampered with. If you get an email or some kind of promotional on your email, you don't really know if that is the true thing. But if I get a printed piece in my mailbox, I tend to think it has more validity. It has more, someone's thought the process through, and it's not just a click of a button and someone's flinged it out to me. Someone has taken the time to creatively put this piece together, and it just establishes a level of trust that I don't think, getting it on my email can do.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you too, especially when it comes to things like offers. There's laws around offers and what you can say, and people approve them and do all that other stuff. So it's not like a Facebook is under attack now because they don't really monitor the ads. They just so in that sense, people can make claims that aren't they they cannot be made through print. Okay, a couple of other follow-up questions, and then we'll open it up to everyone so everyone start thinking. You deal with a lot of creative people. Have you been having any conversations with them about maybe work coming back to you? Do you deal with any of the advertising agencies? Are they saying anything to you about maybe fourth quarter printing or anything to that extent?
Actually, I think it's actually starting now, and I mean, I not so much ad agencies per se, but I mean, corporations. We do a lot of real estate promotion for work, which would be an odd one when you think about it, because you think are people showing houses or doing anything right that like that right now, but they actually are, and they really want to up their game too, because they might only have 10 houses for sale instead of 20, but they want those 10 to have really great materials that they can either mail out. I think the sales span is longer now than it used to be. It used to be the house was sold before the brochure was
Oh yeah,
printed, but
yeah.
now there seems to be an extended time span. But also, I think the distributors of paper and our suppliers and stuff like that, they're coming back online and wanting to go out there and say their message again. So I don't think we have to wait till fourth quarter. I see things. I mean, obviously, I do a lot of trade show printing and things like that. That has been a big drop because we can't do that yet. But I think businesses that are trying to reestablish and trying to rebrand, it crosses the spectrum. Everybody wants to do that. And like I said before, the fact that we can reinvent ourselves right now and people think it's actually kind of cool is brilliant.
Yeah.
Because oh God, you changed your logo. Why? Well, now you can change your logo and people don't
Yeah,
mind.
totally. Okay, so now, I mean, we're in such unique positions here. You're a creative person, you own the print shop, so there's a lot of questions we can ask you. What is your what is your approach to sales calls now? Are your team making sales calls? Are they making you know, trying to push work through the shop, or are they still in, assess mode?
I would say we're just past assess mode. We're working on some materials for a bit of direct mail. I think direct mail is like a perfect timing right now. And actually, I don't know about in the US, but in Canada, they've done this new program where you can do 6,000 pieces of mail to your direct target free. The postage
I'm sorry,
free.
what?
Free.
Free?
So it's a wonderful tool. I know you guys got to figure out how to get that to happen. So
We don't have free mail in the United States. It's called
I
email, just saying.
I, I could go to my smaller clients and say, look, you've never tried direct mail before. Why don't you try it now? You can do your first mailing of 6,000 pieces completely free. And they pay for the print, obviously. So it's a wonderful promotion Canada Post is doing. But things like that, we can definitely jump on and say, hey, you guys should really be
Yeah.
doing direct mail. Now, you can only do it if you've never done direct mail before. So it's supposed to be like an introduction. But a lot of people have not done direct mail. So looking at opportunities like that, and I'm sure there are opportunities where you are as well, that you can like I said, reestablish and reintroduce your business. Because I think don't wait till the fourth quarter. Do it now. And because we've basically been in a bubble for 3.5 months. And I think we have to start breaking out of the bubble a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So just so I can clarify, I wasn't saying to wait to fourth quarter. The some of the brands I've been speaking with aren't even thinking about putting anything out into the world until fourth quarter is kind of what I meant by that, which means they're starting to plan for that now. We're not going to be seeing anything because they're not working on anything, which is why our mailboxes have essential mail, but essentially no marketing mail in them still. But to your excellent point, the United States Post Office does have promotions for direct mail all the time going. And one of the, I actually just did a presentation with the post office last night for the Advertising Production Club of New York. And they have wait for it, everybody, a mobile shopping promotion that if you are mailing things that link to people buying online, you can get postal discounts. So everybody should go to USPS.com and figure that out, because where do you think all the Christmas gifts are coming this year? So, I mean, it's amazing promotion to take a part of. Okay. I have one more question, then we'll open it up for everybody else. So in let's say in the earlier trying times, Christine, here in the United States, the printers were, pivoting as the word of the month to provide safety graphics and all of those types of things. I know you do have wide format equipment. Were you getting involved in that? And how has the ability for you to use multiple types of substrates kept anything going for you at the moment?
Well, I think, yeah, pivot sure is a word that's being used a lot. I think that we do have a large format equipment. We did do a small amount of COVID related print, but not a great deal. I purposely made that decision not to do that because I think we're just not set up to do that kind of mass production. We're more of a creative shop that does small runs. So I focused on helping my clients with materials that maybe like we did a little handbook of things to do in their shop for COVID, things like that. I focused on that rather than sort of the overall, stop here, go down this arrow way kind of thing. I didn't think it fell into our realm of what we do best. And I really struggled with the COVID as far as, yes, we had to be aware of a lot of things, but I was trying to always put a more positive spin than a negative spin. And that was a hard line to walk for the
Yeah,
last 3
it's a pandemic. So
Yeah, it hasn't
hey,
been,
it's a pandemic, everybody.
but it's very hard to be like creative and then inspiring and saying, yeah,
Yeah.
things.
Although I have seen some pretty cool renderings of the actual virus itself. I mean, so
Yeah.
there are some designers and 3D artists who have really made those, virus cells come to life. I want to open it up to everybody, but not before I give one more shout out to Dawn Nye, who has joined us again. Project Peacock wouldn't be possible without Dawn and Christine Yardley. So just Dawn, thank you so much for your continued support, and I hope everything is well with Kanika Minolta these days.
Well,
Um,
Deb, it's great to see you.
I know, to actually see you. Does anyone have any questions, want to have conversation? Now would be the time.
Well, Deb, I have a question for you. When you were
Oh, for
talking
me?
to the advertising club, because I agree with Christine, and I don't live in Canada, but literally this week I've gotten 2 catalogs from brands, okay, and I've bought them from both catalogs. So, and again, and I, being quarantined, I wait for the mailbox click on my house, and I run to the mailbox. I don't know how we get this across to brands. Okay, that going, by the way, you're not communicating with me. And the 20,000 emails that I get, I'm not reading because
Right.
I spend my whole life online, okay, like this in business. So I don't want to read my email. I really want a physical printed piece. And I'm much more likely to buy.
Yeah, I agree. And that was the purpose of our webinar last night, was to tell them that this was, I was trying to explain that this was the mail moment, that this was the time to take advantage of these promotions and start talking. Now, in brief conversations with a few buyers from brands, what I am, currently being told is that they're focusing on a few things. First of all, obviously, their own branding. Who are they during the pandemic? This is the most important thing. This is who we are. This is what we're doing for the world. We care about you. We're all in this together. Potentially an offer after that, but more important, establishing who they are and who, their importance. The second thing they are doing is they are marketing to their customers, people who have used their products and services. And by the way, insurance companies, car companies, things like that. We are still in essential territory. There are still lanes that are appropriate to talk about and not appropriate to talk about. For example, don't think you're going to be seeing watches and jewelry things, random things coming to your house anytime soon. All the things that people might have called junk mail prior. I never thought of it as junk mail. I just thought of it as a direct marketing piece that didn't have the right message and didn't get to me at the right time. And that's why it wasn't valuable to me. But it wasn't junk mail. But that's all gone because no one is spending money on using print for customer acquisition at the moment. So it's essential communications that have bills, statements, things that are never going to stop, and keeping and maintaining customer loyalty at all times. And then the random things that you can see that there are opportunities with if you are in these spaces have to do with things like the telecom wars that are about to come. I mean, everybody wants you to switch to their thing now, and it's appropriate to spray and pray that, because as long if I it's in a it's I'm not as a consumer going to think, who does this brand think they are talking to me about a vacation in Italy when I can't even put food on the table. But you can save $75 a month on your internet. Everybody's interested in that, or switch your phone plan or things like that. So there are buckets of weird things that you are allowed to spray and pray on. Something I actually predicted is coming true, oddly enough, about the car trips this summer, and how if everyone's going to be in a car, well, what do they need around that? Well, they're all going camping. So all the sporting goods stores became perfect for a direct mail opportunity and things like that. And I'm laughing now because I actually am starting to see commercials on TV for outdoor equipment and things like that. Also, the backyard is the new vacation destination. So there are people trying to get like out above ground pools and lawn furniture. And my sister-in-law just bought like a movie projector for the backyard. Like these are it's big business now. So all of that stuff is open to marketing, and to Christine's point, can really stand out, if especially since have a movie premiere in your backyard. It ties in perfectly with the fact that the movies are actually launching online, and a little fancy print. Actually, one of the next things I want to do is go to the cable companies and say, how are we doing this now? Because now it's actually a special thing. It's not a year and a half later that you get the launch of the first round of it on cable. You're getting the first round. There could be a moment to make it very special, and if that happens, it is only going to be special with people like Christine and techniques like that. So I didn't mean to hog the conversation, but I thought it was an important question. Anybody else want to comment, add to the conversation?
I have a question. I'm Margaret. I'm new.
Hi, Margaret New. We love you.
Thanks. Okay, so, Deborah, you mentioned branding, who are we, that kind of thing. I sell direct mail, digital, just down and dirty kinds of things. Not a lot of creativity, unfortunately. It's amazing how many, if my people didn't go on furlough, they're working from home, and they have completely just shut down. It's almost like, okay, is it because we're rebranding? Is it, where do they go? What are they doing?
What kind of customer verticals are you serving?
I work, my nonprofits are doing well. My insurance companies, I know that they're doing well, but I can't get a hold of them. They're very difficult to reach. And then I work in the medical industry, marketing, just kind of really just down and dirty, I don't know, messages about prescriptions. And, do you know what I mean? It's not,
yeah,
I don't know.
You're in two very active fields right now, healthcare and insurance. There's insurance things all over the place, because the same with the telecoms.
They're not promoting though. It doesn't, they don't seem to be promoting.
They're making a mistake. This is the moment. Everybody, that's one of the things you can be in flux about right now. I'm getting things about, my car insurance is trying to keep me because they know that I'm going to have options soon. Another insurance company, they're emailing me. They're not direct marketing to me in my mailbox because they don't want to spend the money on that.
So that's maybe what you're, that's true. I haven't really been able to get through to people. I'm kind of shocked at how many of them don't have cell phones that connect with their office phones. I mean, I know that it sounds nuts. I've been in the business forever, but it's like, I'm 55. I've literally been in this business since graduating from college, and I don't know where the people went. And
right, so yeah, let's put it out to the group. Like, how do you find the people then? Sandy Hubbard, you're out there. Dawn Nye, Arona, how do you guys find people? Have you tried social media? Are you looking them up on
I
social media?
I do a lot. I personally do a lot with LinkedIn, as well as I'm sending drift videos to be funny. You know, I mean, I'm just doing everything I can. I sent these notebooks out, a direct mail for dummies. It's kind of cute, but you know, a lot of them didn't arrive. They didn't get them because
You
they're
sent to the
at.
office, right, right,
Yeah,
right.
I don't. You know, people are hesitant to send me their. Even though some of my clients have been my clients for a while, it's like it's not like I'm going to show up on your doorstep, guys.
Yeah,
But
they don't trust you. Yes,
I know.
Arona.
I was going to ask, so are your clients the corporations or the agencies? Are I'm a little confused. Like, so you
Actually,
said you
I
were
have both. So,
okay.
for instance, Mayo Clinic is one of my clients. Um, and then a lot of my nonprofits are agencies that I work with, Compassion, Masterworks, you know, those kinds of places, BBS. Um, and I'm able to reach the nonprofits. It's more, I think, in the prospecting that I'm having trouble reaching. And I do have a fair amount of agencies as well as working directly with the corporation. Mayo Clinic is only doing essential printing. Their print buyers were sent on furlough. I did a lot of notifications for speakers and things that, you know, they'll have doctors go to destinations and then do a talk on heart valves. And that's completely stopped. So do you know what I mean?
So there's a lot of, like TV advertising, in particular in insurance and in medical. Is there a way for you to get referred out to maybe other areas within your customer base where sometimes people need to be resold on a way of doing business? And, I don't know, like when there's commercial on TV, I kind of skip past it. And most of the emails for pretty much anything, insurance in particular, automatically goes to my junk mail.
Mm-hmm.
But like Deborah said, I guess I'm so excited to have someone interface with me via my mailbox that, even if it is junk mail in my mailbox, I still read it. So
Right. Yeah. Well, no, I hear you. You
and
know,
it's a very
the idea,
low, I'm sorry.
the idea of asking to be reintroduced to different areas, I haven't done that. That's a great idea.
Maybe the one section that you're working with today, they're not doing any print, but in your sales ability, sometimes you have to kind of resell an idea that might be on pause as a more cost-effective way of reaching a target audience that's not in a junk mail, that's not going to get zoomed past, watching their TV shows on demand or put on mute while they go to the bathroom for a live TV show.
Yeah. Well, that's a great idea. Thank you. Yeah. And yeah, I'm going to do that. And, the thing is, are you thinking that, because I find that people are answering their telephone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, sending out a email to people and asking is probably not the best thing, but talking to them and is going to be more effective. Is that what you found? If you can get a hold of them.
So I would tell you that in my experience, I think a multi-touch approach is always best. So, and the U.S. Postal Service, actually, I was at a DMA event a couple years ago, and they did a study where if you email somebody and let them know to look for something that's coming in the mail, the return rate is almost double. So you kind of give them a teaser. You can call, and make sure they receive the email that's pointing them to look for something, whether I wouldn't even go so far as to necessarily tell them on the phone there's a special offer, but you can even say, you've been selected for blah, 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 free bag of pretzels or whatever, and, in your call that's referencing an email to confirm that they received it. And that email has a little kind of a snapshot of what your direct mail piece looks like. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy, just letting them know to be on the lookout that there's something special, customized specifically for them.
Well, I think that's it. I love that idea.
Yeah.
And, can you hear me right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I just automatically went back on. I would make that. If your target market that you're going to mail out to is not mass, I would make sure that direct mail piece was something that wouldn't go in the junk mail. And I would do something like an invitation in a beautiful envelope and say an invitation to print again, an invitation to engage with your clients again, an invitation to reinvent your next 6 months of marketing. And I would make it like an invitation. They think they're going to get invited to a wedding or something, and they open it up and it's an invitation to start working with you again, because they just saved all the
TM.
they just saved all this money for 3 months so they can get a really beautiful piece done. Right? I mean,
I love that idea.
Marketing.
I love it too. I'm stealing it.
Yeah.
Sandy
I
Hubbard,
am too.
Sandy
Actually,
Hubbard.
can I? Oh,
Go ahead. No, please go ahead, Margaret.
I'm wondering if I can steal the thing from. I know it's terrible. I'm such a
No, I
thief.
steal everything. I just
Oh,
say
you do.
TM after I do it.
Christine, can I put at the bottom of my email, print as a trusted channel to reconnect?
Yes, you certainly can. I
Okay.
probably pulled that from somebody else. I just don't remember who.
Oh, okay, good.
Because
Thank
it was
you.
me. I TM'd it. You owe me money. Sandy Hubbard, you are so crafty and strategic when it comes to questions like, how do I reach the people I want to reach? I'm hoping you have some advice to add here.
Well, if it were me, I would really narrow my target. Doing these wide swaths is really challenging right now because you can't do a wide message and find people where they are. So I would pick a small sliver, do a lot of research on it, pick some actual physical targets, not just a job title, but the people you know who have that responsibility. Start finding the names. Once you have the name, look on LinkedIn and see who influences them on either side of their value chain. So it could be a vendor. So let's say it's a trusted person upline in their value chain. Find out who those people are and connect with them. Because if you want to connect with someone and they see that you're connected with someone they trust, it helps the process. And then once you have a foot in the door, a toe in the door, you want to also connect with their downline in their value chain. And a lot of times, sorry, I had too much coffee this morning, I'm panting. A lot of times, if you're a buyer in charge of a department, let's say you've got print production, designer, people from other departments who are drifting in and out, I would just say, once you have a toe in the door, I would offer to do a presentation for them. That makes your target look good. It certainly empowers the whole department. It reminds your target later when people say, oh, I had a really good time at that thing that Margaret did for us and I'd like to follow up on it. And then depending on your budget and your ability, I would even send lunch, because if you were doing that in person, you would be buying their lunch. So, I would get a little creative with what kind of lunch you bring in. And that could be even a potential, when we do this with our Help Print Thrive tour, we pick the lunch person who could also potentially become a client for us. So, think about that as well. They might be too small potatoes for you, but you could refer them to someone else. But every part of that experience could be a potential customer. But it's interesting how much influence the department or the kingdom that person has underneath them, how much they influence that person, because they can't be an expert in every category. They really are relying on their team. So if they say to their team, you know, is that printer better than the one we have now? And they can set those people off to do research or look at the samples or evaluate your operation. They don't have time to do that themselves, but their team would enjoy that. So if you can bring a presentation to them that adds value and makes their life easier and empowers them, and bring them lunch, it's a great way to be memorable.
Yeah. It's also, I mean, it's also worth it just to set up a once a month Zoom where you talk about the value of direct mail and just invite all your prospects to it, to come online, record it one time, put it on your website. You could even email people the link. You can also do things like, just create a 5-minute video about, hey, this is, I want to talk to you about informed delivery, which is, by the way, one of the best kept secrets of the post office, in the sense that it makes every printer a digital marketer light, as I like to say, where you can actually show results of people who have clicked and interacted with the mail in some way. And to I don't remember if it was Christine or someone else before who said about the multiple touch points, and they essentially get an email from the post office saying this is coming in your mailbox, and there's an additional opportunity to put what they call a ride-along ad in it, and which literally leads to the direct offer on a website or something like that. And the post office does all of that, or you can do it yourself through their tools, or you could work with a company like Direct Mail 2.0 and others out there that offer those types of services. But adding value, which is another layer of creativity. I mean, technology is creativity. The United States Post Office actually rewards everybody for using these things with discounts. So you can elevate your direct mail, you can elevate the results, you can elevate the reporting, you could elevate the engagement and the tracking, all you have to be able to do is get a conversation with somebody. And I love the creative invitation idea. Here's an invitation to the future of your business. Oop, stealing that.
Oh, love that.
Do I steal from myself? I can't steal from myself. Okay, you can all have that one. I can't steal it from myself. But yeah, I love the invitation thing. That could be an entire campaign, by the way. Invitation.
Isn't that great how this just happened? It just, like, the conversation started and now we're all going to do invitations. I mean, this is fantastic.
Poor Christine. She's like, well, it was a great idea. Wait, is anyone else in Canada? Anyone else in Canada? You think, oh no, sorry, Christine. We've got another Canadian up there with you. So where are you from, Suzanne?
From her. I am with 3, actually, invited by Christine today. So I won't be stealing too much from her. But I did get one of those chocolates, and it is definitely very sweet.
Oh, yum. Excellent. Questions, comments? Anybody else? Anna? Yes, please.
I'm wondering if, Christine, you have any finished things that you really are excited about right now, and are you using any microbial coatings?
Well, no, I don't. I am not using those coatings, actually. But I mean, what am I excited about? I think I still go back to my foils and varnishes and metallic inks and all that. I'm excited about, I've had some wonderful paper. Actually, interestingly enough, this has a coating on it. Paper that has an antibacterial component in it. Has anybody heard of that? So it's like for menus. So it's an antibacterial paper that in 98%, I think, is the statistic on it. So if you did a menu, for instance, on this paper for your client, which has a coating, I just don't know what the coating is exactly, but I can get that information. And it's immediately, safe when you think about it. That high price point though. But if you didn't want to do a disposable menu, good option.
Yes and no. I just want to say you're not allowed to use those menus yet in the United States. You have to use disposable. You're not allowed to use menus yet, but you will. Right now, the real opportunity is in printing posters or one thing with QR codes on it. And what restaurants are essentially doing is you go into the restaurant, you scan the QR code, or you enter the website on your own device and you order food from their online menu. They're not even letting disposable ones in some now. Same thing with interesting, like no ketchup bottles on the table. It's like you got to use the little packets because nothing that they have to clean or wipe down. However, there's a shelf life for all of this. There will have to be some normalcy at some point, and in that are all of these interesting creative substrates that can be cleaned with alcohol and all these other things that, yes, add cost to it. However, you're not going to have to print it 300 times during the year. So that would be the conversation I would have with people. Yes, we're adding money to this up front, but look at how many times you would have had to reprint these things over the year. And this is actually more cost effective for you in the long time. So that is also a creative conversation with how you pitch things and elevate it. But what other, I didn't mean to interject, but I just want to make sure everyone knows that disposable menus that you keep are not allowed yet here.
Okay, so I'm not sure if I answered that question very well, but I think I have been on a holding pattern like everyone else, but I mean, I'm still using my tried and true, which is, my embellishments that I use. There are different laminates that I've been testing because everybody kind of went down that soft touch road, and I kind of want to change that up a little. So I've been trying to experiment with a few things like that, but nothing that's really stopped me in my tracks. Do you have something that would?
What a buying question. I love that one, right? All the people who sell things were just like, ooh, look at all the smiles on here.
Yeah.
Everyone just went, ooh, look, someone asked a buying question.
Well, I'm so sick of soft touch. It's like, okay, so been done there or whatever. It's Laster-day.
It is also, I wouldn't want to be near anything that had touch in my name at this point. It would be like, it's basically the antichrist of print. It's like, oh, touch this. No, thank you. I won't be touched anytime soon.
Interestingly enough, though, we were just talking about, and Christine, you were just mentioning, and I'm sorry if you guys think I'm talking too much, but you were mentioning, I think, did you talk about the haptic, the creative, the touch and that kind of thing? That's so valuable for your things. Right now, I agree with Deborah, touching is not a good thing.
No, but we crave it. We crave to touch again, and we want to again. And people don't, I'm on laptop overload. So right now, I mean, you can get a business card from somebody and you're not going to get COVID from it. I mean, honestly. Right. Is like the lowest transmission point I think you can get. So is food. That chocolate that you're going to eat, you're not going to get COVID from it. If you go, walking down the subway station and put your hand on that metal bar as far as you can go, might not do that. But I would have no fear in someone handing me a business card, and I think that print is a safe piece of whatever you're going to touch. And I want to touch again. I'm not going to probably hug the person after they gave me their business card, but I certainly would take it. And as I would take the menu to read.
Yeah, see, in Minnesota, we can use menus and ketchup bottles. But, we're Minnesota. What can I say about that? We don't, we're kind of happening, but in any case, it's a smaller state. And I think we hug. We're hugging again, but we're asking first. Oh yeah, I know. What do you think of that? We have to ask though first.
You don't want to know what I think about that. I live in Florida, so stop hugging. I'm begging.
I live in Minnesota and I'm not hugging.
Where do you live?
Okay.
I'm in Minnesota and I'm not hugging. This is Angie.
Thank you, Angie. Well, don't hug anybody, Angie.
Yeah, I live in the cities. I live in the cities, but at the cabin, we're hugging. I've been hugging for 2 weeks. Crazy, huh?
Okay, well, we're opening. You're quarantined in your little box over there. That's all I have to say. And I'm glad your box is 2 away from me on my screen, because otherwise I'd be like moving over another box. God help you if you sneeze during this Zoom meeting is all I have to say.
I've been sending print samples and ideas to customers and doing Zoom meetings, and nobody's had any problem because there is such a low transmission. By the time I package it, put it in the mail, it's a week since I've touched it before it gets there. But it gives me that ability to have that tactile connection. It makes it almost this whole TV kind of, you know, interview style kind of real to people. And I've actually responded to direct mail pieces that then drove me to either an online conference or an online learning session or something like that. But for me, and it may be my age, sorry, it always starts with a print piece.
Yeah, I agree. Something cool too, if you can find the customers, if you know where they are at their homes and you could reach them. And we had talked about this at another Fierce Fabulous Friday, where amazing thing a printer could do is create a video sample kit. So 20 seconds on this is a direct mail piece that we printed on this piece of equipment, and it has all these coatings on it, and here's this and here's that, and then you send the kit, you send it to your customer, you give them the video playlist, so they can, if they want to learn about the postcard, they click the postcard. If they want to learn about the brochure, they click the brochure, whatever it might be. And then you can go as far as, okay, if you want to go further down the rabbit hole, here's 2.5 minutes on the press and what else it can do besides that postcard or something else, and which highlights your capabilities, which gives people a little education, and it enables you to still be allowing people to learn without you, which is very important. If you think about it, for a printer, I always tell the printers, or suggest to the printers, what they should do is go to their salespeople and find out the 3 top questions the salespeople are asked. And 9 out of 10 times, the first 2 are very similar. And then maybe depending upon what the verticals or the customers that the printers serve, it's the other one. And to create content that addresses those frequently asked questions in some manner, so you can get people further down the sales funnel when they call you, so you're not wasting as much time. This video sample kit really would be very effective right now, especially since everybody in the print shop isn't in the office. They might not have the time or the samples printed at the moment for someone just to pull them off the shelf. And this might be a better way of doing it, and saying, contact us and let us know what you're interested in. And then, you can have more targeted conversations, and also you're providing people the ability to learn about you and what you can do and what print can do for them, business results, which is very important, online, when they want, without feeling any pressure. And then when they reach out, they're reaching out with better questions, like Christine's questions. Well, what else do you got to show me? Which is a great question for printing to hear.
What's up?
No. Anybody else? No. Okay, well, we're at the hour. I hope I didn't hog the conversation too much today after Christine's amazing presentation. Thank you so much. Everybody should connect with Christine Yardley on LinkedIn. Her print shop is called Print Panther. It is in Toronto, and the site that you can get all the inspiration and printspiration you have ever dreamed of is Eat, Print, Love. Christine posts things that she likes to eat, things that she likes to print, and things that she loves. And really just want to thank everybody so much for attending. Don't forget to join the group, girlswhoprint.net, if you're not a member, and visit the website for our upcoming programming. And stay tuned. I think we're going to have a Girls Who Print virtual conference in the fall. So thank you, everybody, so much for your time, and see you next week.
Thanks.